Yo, 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 what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nate the Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessings. Give y'all some time to tune in. Apologies for the pushback. It's been a rough morning, but nonetheless a good morning. Serious, baby. First things first, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Saturday. Hopefully, for those in the areas where it's raining or it's storming, hopefully y'all keeping yourselves dry, keeping yourselves safe. For those in the eye of that storm that's ripping through, hopefully y'all keeping your families in order, keeping your household in order. Just safety first before anything. So if you don't necessarily got to be out on the roads in them areas, stay your butt home. And if you have to evacuate, make sure you're doing so. Those in the city, yeah, it's been raining just about all morning, so. Same thing for y'all. Y'all got plans to be out and about. Keep a spare umbrella. And just make sure you doing what's needed. So fire too, baby. For those celebrating birthdays this weekend and this upcoming week, hopefully you're enjoying yourselves. Staying blessed as always. And another year, another blessing. You know, hopefully your year becomes well more endowed and definitely, you know, another safety tip for some of y'all. You want to be out and about celebrating. Just make sure you know who you celebrating with, and also make sure that you make it home in one piece. Appreciate everybody that tuned in for the conversation on Thursday. Definitely was a good one. Definitely one that was needed. For those that missed it, y'all can catch this replay. Today, I'm going to reiterate again on something I spoke about and keep speaking about because, again, we got to come to some form of resolution. Now, there's some of you adults out there who are making irrash decisions worse than what these children out here are doing. Or you're just doing things that you know for a fact as an adult you should have common sense on not doing. Like I was saying the other day, there's some of y'all that's even enticing these young ones to be in the midst of stupidness because you're doing stupidness. Today, again, this is more about these youngins. And again, you parents making sure that these youngins stay the hell off the streets. Last night, I had a situation at work where things could have went left on all angles. But cooler heads always prevail like they're supposed to. Now, again, there should be no reason why I am personally escorting and kicking people off of a property, especially when half of these people are not even of the age of 14 or 15. Especially these old young girls. Again, out here doing stuff they ain't got no business doing. At 2 something in the morning, y'all should be somewhere safe and indoors, especially when you know the weather is half-assed. So what would give y'all the mindset to say just because we see an area that could be open or we see an area that look like it could be breachable that we should just go in there? Now, you don't know what the hell you could have walked into. Curiosity killed the cat is a real thing because we have some people right now laying 6 feet deep because of that. Being nosy, trying to be spontaneous, just trying to do things and not being aware of certain consequences. If this would have been a scenario where we had dogs on the site, the dogs would have probably mauled them little girls. All could have been a possible attack. And then what? The first thing they tried to say was, oh, why did this happen? And, well, why did this happen? What you mean, why did this happen? Why is your daughters out at 2, 3 in the morning? Why is your young queens out here all hours of the night like they young men? And even the young men, they doing too much too. Being out and about all hours of the night for what? What are y'all getting yourselves into? Only thing you doing is setting yourself up for some form of failure. And again, that's something that should be looked at. Again, these is babies, in my opinion. Babies, babies. James, what's going on? Why are the babies out all hours of the night? Why is not a parent giving a damn about that? Some instances, parents ain't even knowing their kids is out and about doing things. And again, for those parents that are not being that visual, not being that on point, you better start getting on point now. Because God forbid, daughters could be out thinking everything lit, thinking everything cool, and could be the victim of circumstances. And especially if you don't live in the area, you shouldn't be out well past your time anyway. That'd be like you being all the way in Brooklyn when you live deep in the Bronx. You should be home at a certain time, not be out and about running these streets trying to get into something. And what exactly are you trying to get into at that time of the morning? There's nothing good out there in these streets at a certain time. Just keeping it real with y'all, especially for y'all who are too young. Nothing out there in these streets for you late in the evening. Only thing that's going to be in the streets for you is some form of trouble, or God forbid, an early way about this damn world that we living in now. That could have been a violent situation, not in per se on my behalf. That could have been a violent situation because now when they done got escorted off, boy, something could have happened the minute they got up the block. Come on now. Again, parents start being aware of where your children are at, know where they at, and make sure that they are not getting into anything that could be a cause or a conflict. And it's sad because here it is. You have people, like I said, who have lost their lives due to just that, being curious, wanting to be spontaneous. Oh, well, there ain't nothing going to happen. Ain't nothing going to happen. And then something does happen. Again, some of you parents want to live a second childhood, but you fail to realize when you got children, this is no time to be playing kid games. Make sure you know where your kids are going. Make sure you know what they're getting into. You got to start GPS tracking them and doing everything. And if you know come a certain time they should be in the house, make sure that they're in the house. See, the problem I've seen now in certain instances when it comes to some parenting is, again, some of y'all trying to be friends with your kids. The kid is supposed to have respect for their parents and the rules and authority. Cool gaming, what's going on? Not the other way around. It's not supposed to be, oh, the adults bowing down to the children. No. You brought them in the world now. You need to set rules and establishments and set ground rules for them. Again, it's about keeping them safe. Last night could have been a bad situation. Just like I said one time before, it don't have to be an attack that's happening on them. For they could have escaped one bad situation and got into another. BDBGP going on. What's going on, bro? Nah, because it's sad in that case again because let's be real. There's no way in the hell you could tell me you feel comfortable as a parent letting your child be out all hours of the night. Now, see, just like I said, your young queens is out here trying to pull off a fast one. And I'm telling you right now, just the look on their face said it all. Like, oh shoot, yeah, because you wasn't expecting somebody to just be in the area that you was in. You was expecting to just walk through an area thinking you was going to do whatever. And then the fact that you try to hide, like nobody's spider senses is aware. This had to be funny last night to a degree. Now again, there's some of y'all that put yourselves in critical danger, even to the point of being arrested. That could have happened last night. Had I decided, well, you know what, I ain't going through all of this. Let me go make this phone call. The minute I said, let me make this phone call, everybody decided to haul ass. Nah, don't wait until somebody is ready to do something before you decide, you know what, it ain't worth it. Shit don't make no sense. Like I said, if it had been an armed guard situation, thought it was some form of attack, they had all rights to use our damn weapons, and then what? Telling you, there's some of y'all that are not thinking that things can't happen to your kids just because, oh, people know you or people know that. That don't mean shit. Sorry to say it that way, but that don't mean not a damn thing. Your child still could have been a victim of circumstance. And then think about it, like I said, they don't live in the area now. They got to travel on the train going back to wherever they got to go to. At that time in the morning, all the trains are not doing that express shit. Mostly every line throughout New York City on the weekend, especially after midnight, is going local. Whatever ain't going local is being rerouted. So imagine again, it's already going to take you an hour and a half from wherever you at in the Bronx coming down to Brooklyn. And then now you gotta possibly be on the train longer than an hour and a half now because everything is going low. Anything could have happened. Right now, like I said, we got migrants running rampant, even to the point of they doing more attacks than the regular homelanders. Let's try this again. Your child could have been a victim of circumstance on that train. Could have been a victim of circumstance getting outside of that train station. Could have been a victim of circumstance before they even got back into the house. Again, your young queens and your young kings need to be somewhere indoors. There's people right now who are getting hit in the midst of crossfires and everything else now, and they young just because again being outside, being at the wrong places at the wrong time. Parents start paying attention. You know, and this is my thing. When you know there's going to be some form of drama, make sure your kid is indoors. Again, at a certain time, I don't care if it is the weekend. Your children is under the age of 18, not working, not doing anything, they should be indoors at a certain time. Not saying they can't hang out with friends or whatever, but shit, at a certain time, nah, y'all should be indoors. And if you're not going to be in the house, you should be in the house with somebody that we know, that we trust, and that we ain't got to worry about anything. Miss Eve, baby, been a minute, sis. Hope all well with you. You know, but that's something to really think about. Again, that could have turned tragic last night. Because again, what if I'd have thought it was a robbery going on and I was an armed guard? I'd have had all rights to let off that damn hammer. Luckily, I ain't had to get too crazy last night, but I did scare the hell out of them. And again, this is 5, 6 young girls. None of them look over the age of 14. All of them look like they should have been tucked in the bed already. What are you doing out this late? You know? And it seemed like everything was happy until they heard me say something, and then they all got scared and tried to run. But then again, you try to run and hide, and you didn't do a good job at hiding. And it makes sense. And even though you didn't steal nothing, if I hadn't been there, who knows what you would have done. And the same thing I can say about some of these adults. Y'all do the dumbest shit in the world and then wonder why some of the things are happening the way it's happening. Because some of these people are watching you, the grown-ups, move like kids. Oh, well, I think I'm going to just walk through here. If an area is closed, what would make you walk through there? That'd be like you trying to walk on a construction site just because you see an opening to go in there. You might fuck around and get yourselves hurt. You're not knowing what to expect on these sites or anything. Or you know, a dog could have came charging at you as soon as you got in the premises. And then what? Another victim mauled or another person hurt because of whatever, because of their own sheer stupidity. So y'all gotta learn that just because you might see areas that look like they breachable, that don't mean you always gonna fucking be successful. And you're stupid anyway because there's a bunch of cameras hanging from almost every angle. So either which way, you'd have been getting a picture sent to that damn precinct. Nah, it's true. They supposed to be in charge. They supposed to be making sure nothing is going on. Again, why is your young daughters out this late in the evening? There's nothing good out there for them late in the evening. Nothing. Now, if you with a group of friends, y'all all decide to go hang out, y'all grown ups, cool. When y'all that young, go home at a certain time. Parents, make sure your kids going home. They don't need to be lingering around all hours of the night. Because then, God forbid, something happens out there in them streets. Then what? Y'all gonna be quick to point blames at everybody else and not point blames at yourself. Parents, you are responsible for your children when they are in their minor stages. So yes, you have to be more wary of what they're doing. In certain cases, is exactly why you getting teen pregnancy because you're not paying attention to your son or your daughter, not making sure that they out there being safe, not having these discussions with them, not having the important talks that are needed to keep them on the up and up. Yeah, because in certain instances, that's exactly what they want to do. They'll charge the parent as well. In certain situations, especially now, like I said, Georgia and another state, they're not playing that. You're not taking care of your kids. You're not making sure your kids are not out here being a menace. Guess what? When shit happens to them, it's gonna happen to you as well. You know, come on now. Take responsibility and take some accountability for raising your kids. But see, in this day and age, got some of y'all that feel like nobody can tell you anything when it comes to your children. But sometimes you need to hear that from the outside looking in because it might be something that you missing. Again, y'all got to start having that's true family engagement. There's no family engagement no more nowadays. I spoke about this recently. There's no more, families sitting together having a dinner night, talking and having discussions about things. Everything right now is dinner, TV, and that's it. Or dinner, internet, and that's it. Nobody is saying let's sit down, let's have a family discussion, let's talk, let's see what's going on. You know, what problems are we all having? How can we all try to work on them together? So on and so forth. There's none of that engagement going on. The engagement nowadays is if you're going out, just make sure you here or don't get into no trouble while you outside. But then you're not even saying you should be in the house at a certain time. Again, I don't see how some of you parents are comfortable with your little 12, 13, 14 year olds being out in the streets all hours of the night. In some situations, some of these kids is only out late in the evening because, again, they parents don't give two hells about them. And it's sad because, again, you brought them into the world, so you're just going to feed them to the wolves and that's it. Not going to say, you know what, let me lay down some ground rules. So even when you do start getting up that age of hanging out with people, you know what it is already. Like I said, it's not that kids ain't supposed to be able to hang out with their friends and all. No, that's not the case. But what the case is, at a certain time, if you know all these kids is under the age of 15, they should be home at a certain time. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that, because you're putting them in a compromising position by not setting that ground rule. That ground rule should be as is. You ain't working, you ain't doing something constructive. Be home before that sun go down, or be home before a decent time. But again, in a certain instance, it's almost like you're allowing you're allowing the madness to happen. So when something does happen, again, you can't point fingers at nobody but yourselves, the parents. Because what are you doing that you're not making sure your children are safe? What are you doing that you're not making sure that your children ain't getting into no madness? So I said, when it come down to certain situations, I got to start finding what it is that your kids are into, and make sure that you are doing those activities with them. You know, and again, some of y'all putting yourselves and your families in danger, wanting to be out all hours of the night too. And there's some situations again where you got adults moving just like children, doing illegal activities in front of children. Like prime example, you can't expect a kid not to be a thief if every time you're out and about with them, you're thieving or you're doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. You know, and again, communication needs to be open and strong for all of that. How you supposed to know what's going on with your children if you're not communicating with your children? How you gonna know if your kid is really into any danger or anything if you are not taking a step as a parent to make sure that's not the case? We've had some stories where people have lost their kids because they ain't know their kids is out here doing doing the utmost, doing things that no child should be doing. And then when it gets too hot and too heated, then what? Well, I said, parents, y'all got to start doing a little bit better. And not all of y'all, but some of y'all that need to hear this message really need to start getting in control of what's going on with your children. That's just like you expecting your children to graduate school and go into the next level in life, but you ain't teaching them nothing. You're not giving them nothing of substance. You know, this is what I'm saying. Nowadays, it seems like there's no more communication at all. Just allow your kids to go out and do whatever. That should not be the case at all. Because it'd be that instance or that day your kid decide to go out and do something that they ain't supposed to do and get themselves either arrested or in the early grade. Or they end up getting themselves extremely hurt. See, again, in that situation last night with these young girls, they could have gotten to a situation well after the fact they just got out of one. Because that could have been the situation. All of them would have been either going to jail or getting sent home to their parents. So you just avoided one major situation. But you don't know what other situations are lying outside of that danger. Like I said, they could have got up the block and something else could have happened. And then what? Who's to blame? Yeah, initially you want to say the person that created or caused that attack is to blame. But no, in that instance right there, if it would have happened to one of these young ones, who would have been at fault? The parents, because where the hell are you? You can't bring kids in the world and just tune them out like they don't exist. No, you know, and I think that's unfair again. And there are some situations where kids are running away or leaving home because they are not being treated with the respect or they just not being treated great at all. You know, And it's sad because again, it's always the voiceless people that are the ones suffering. My bad, y'all. I'm about to start this coffee rush again. But again, certain situations, you people cannot blame anybody else but yourselves. Because again, where are you? Why are you not laying down the foundation in the ground rules? Why are you not letting it be known that at a certain time you should be in the house because there's dangers that lurk in the streets? Yeah, you already know, James. You already know. No, but it's crazy because again, you gotta look at it. This is a dangerous situation right here. Period. Your child could have messed around, got hit by a car. Your child could have messed around, been the victim of a sexual attack. Your child could have messed around and lost their life just because they was trying to quote unquote be a part of life and live life, or trying to do everything necessary just to try to be cool. No, at a certain time, go home. And this is what I'm saying for some of you parents. If you already got certain things established, then again, you need to make sure that these kids is following the rules and the regulations. Sometimes they gonna try to do everything. Oh, but this one is doing this, or this one is parents is allowing them to, just because somebody else's parents allow their children to do something, that don't mean you should allow your children to do it. Just because your kid got friends that be out all hours at night, that does not give or grant any opportunity for your children to be out all hours at night. It doesn't matter. Your child could have messed around, like I said, if not been the victim of some form of, assault or attack, could have messed around and got killed in the streets. How? Could have been you not paying attention, y'all joking around, asking around, and the car come and hit you. I remember years ago, like I said, somebody lost their life out of my area because of that. Parents not paying attention because they too drugged up. They child is out here peddling and doing whatever, and they child lost their life just because wrong place, wrong time, and got hit by a car and got dragged down a couple blocks. Had that boy been in the house or had that boy been somewhere outside or whatever, that boy probably would have still been alive today. But again, it goes to show you a deep, grim situation. You not paying attention to what your kids are doing out here and what they getting into. Hey, setting yourself up for the ultimate failure. Again, that's not the way to go out, getting hit by a car and then dragged down blocks. That's not any way for anybody to leave out this world. But again, this is a grim tale and a grim story. Again, some of y'all parents have to get it together. Right now with everything again that's going on, the surge of migrants and the surge of attacks all around. Like prime example, they still looking for somebody right now who was on the train, groping and doing all sorts of things to these women. Now they don't know if this dude is a migrant or if he's a homelander, basically. Either which way, it don't matter. Attacks like that shouldn't be happening. Situations like that shouldn't occur. And honestly, people really need to start standing up and banding up. Like I said one time before, it doesn't make sense that some of these crimes that happen could be avoided if you people would stop being so cowardly, if you would stop just being so focused on minding your business and do what's right. Riaz, what's going on? Exactly, serious. You know, and even for the unemployed parents, it doesn't matter. Y'all need to really worry about again making sure you establish a ground when it comes to your children. Make sure your children know, you know, when it's safe to be out and about, when it's cool to be out and about. Just give them certain awarenesses that they're gonna need. You know, and again, they gotta understand this. They ain't of age to be out and about doing certain things. They need to go home. Because again, what is there out there late in the evening for you? Outside of trouble? Absolutely nothing. And that's why I said we, got to start reestablishing that safety as a high class bar. Because again, safety is always going to be the most important thing. And I'm tired of hearing certain stories like that too. Young ones losing their lives, or parents going through the trauma of losing children. Now, again, it's a difference when a parent got to deal with the passing of a child and it's because of specific health ailments or anything else. Yeah, that's something that is different. It's going to hit different. But it's not anything worse than you just allowing your child to be out and your child got into something the way they not coming back home. Prime example, I told y'all a while back, EPB was going on. I told y'all a while back for y'all to just tune in. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Y'all heard me talk about this a while back. People not being safe. Your children are supposed to be within the range of safety, but the children out here causing all sorts of mayhem and misery. Again, start being more safe and more aware. You know, People right now who wishing they was doing a little bit more, wish that they did a little bit more to keep their children from behind the can. Just imagine you allow your children to go out and then they not coming home. I told y'all a while back about the girl who thought she was going to go home. 17 years old, you drunk as a skunk. You got behind the wheel of a car and you killed not one but two people. And then when she finally sobered up, it was like she really had to realize she's not going home. Seeing that could have been even avoided. Again, start being more wise. Parents, start making sure your children are not doing things they don't need to be doing before time. Your children shouldn't be focusing on getting drunk, getting high. Children shouldn't be focusing on trying to make babies before time. Your children should be focusing on being children, learning something, getting an education, trying to be something better in life. They should be focused on goals and different things that are going to keep them well above and well endowed. And I think that's sad right there. It's sad again when you could look and realize that you're not doing a awesome job like you're supposed to be doing. Again, you're supposed to make sure your kids are in protection at all costs. Now, again, in that situation, the parents were not on point, and the parents, in my opinion, they probably suffering now. Because again, your daughter is not coming home ever. Your daughter, 9 out of 10, probably got life. Why? Because you killed not just one person, you killed two. Vehicular homicide, regardless. Somebody lost their life because of your drinking and your speeding. And that's the thing, though. In certain situations, it doesn't matter how old your kid is. Once your kid get wrapped up in something that's major and serious, they got to face the consequences. Saying again, this is why you have to learn to teach them about accountability and responsibility. If you do something that you know for a fact is going to have grave consequences, expect to, expect to take the responsibility and the accountability. And not trying to be funny style with anybody, but shoot, you don't uphold your kids and kid did something that was well out of pocket, or did something that they know for a fact could have got them in deep danger, they have to learn to take responsibility, learn to take accountability as well. Be accountable for your actions and take responsibility for your actions. And the sad part about it is, again, you're going to have those who slip through the cracks because, again, nobody cares. Nobody is showing no form of love, gratitude, or anything. Lady Shay, baby. And that's what I'm saying. Prime example. Your kid get wrapped up with some friends over something they ain't have to do. What you gonna do then? Your kid get wrapped up or get put as an accomplice for a murder. What you gonna do then? You can't do nothing but try to help your kid fight. Like prime example, you've had situations where people have been a part of a crime and not knowing that they've been part of a crime. But then again, you should know that if at any time there's certain things that don't seem right, follow your gut. Another situation where dude thought he was going to get off scot free just because you didn't commit the actual crime. You were still a part of that crime because you gave the ride to those people who did the crime. So what did you think was going to happen? And even if you really wasn't aware of what was going on, you need to let that be known. So this way it won't be a problem. See, now had that boy would have did the right thing and said, well, listen, I didn't know this was going to occur. I just gave him a ride and it was legit. You probably would have got off to a degree. But the fact that, again, you didn't say nothing and then it took for them to come bring you in for you to finally say something, that's a problem. And again, make sure your kids is not wrapped up in things they don't need to be wrapped up in. Because now, look, again, another situation where a minor is not going to be coming home, even though he ain't going to get the full charge. Actually, I lied. He got almost the same amount of time that everybody else that did the crime got wrapped up in. He got almost about the same amount of time. So again, just think about that. That's more than 20 years of your young life wasted in jail for what? For something you ain't even have to do or be a part of. Think about that. You really think it's worth wasting valuable, precious time behind bars when you could be out and about, trying to improve your life and live life? London, baby. Another thing to be aware of is, again, just making sure that you and yours are not wrapped up in something the way it could get dangerous, especially in the streets. Now, I try not to cover too much of whatever, but I'm just going to use this as an example. With the young Dolph situation, I guess his killers finally got convicted, and guess they've already gone to trial. And then you come to find out, like I said, you threw your life away for $40,000. And to be honest with you, you threw your life away for money, and still didn't get the money. From what you said, you were supposed to get 40,000, and you didn't get that money. So now you letting it all hang out. You telling it all. But it's sad. You basically sold your morals and principles for the mighty dollar. This is something you're supposed to teach your kids not to do. There is no amount of money that's worth your integrity, your dignity, or even your solace. No amount of money that should be that great the way you do something that you know for a fact could be costly. But this is also something I said I've noticed, and it's more of a danger within our community than anything. Again, we are quick to have energy and quick to have fight and all that other shit. for our own and won't have that for the actual enemy. We will stand up on each other's necks before we stand up on the necks of those who are really oppressing us, those who are really keeping us down. And it's sad. We really need to start banding up together and focusing on the most important goal most than anything. Again, the goal should be safety for the children. It should just be peace and tranquility. But we know that in an imperfect world, it's not going to happen. But there are some things, again, that the adults really need to start combating together, like making sure your kids are home safe before time. Yeah, we know you can't have an active eye on your kid 24/7, grant all of that. But again, in certain situations, you should have watchful eyes, even if it ain't yours. Let me make sure I got the right people in place, so just in case of anything, I know what to expect. I know how to do things, and I know how to settle the situation. Like I said, see the difference between this generation now and the generation previous. The generation previous, again, parents, regardless to what the situation was, most of them had a strong sense of caring and making sure their children was at least doing all right. Guess what? There were some parents out there who wasn't doing everything by the book, but they made sure their kids wasn't involved in nothing, made sure they lead back to their families. And again, it's just about keeping that balance. Most important thing to remember, balance is always going to be key, just like communication will always be key. Start having conversations with your children, especially when they start getting into their preteen stage. This is when you really supposed to be locked in and loaded in, because again, anything could happen. You not having the specific talks with your children could be parents before they 18. You not having that specific talk with your child about certain things, your child could be a jailbird for life before they 21. You not having talks about safety and awareness, they could be out of this world before 21. Let's not forget that. Some people will try to say, "Oh, but that's the old method of parenting, and that shit don't work." It worked. It worked until a certain standpoint in the generation. And almost any generation you look at, this is exactly what it was. There was unity, not just within the community, but unity within the households and the structures. If I know my kids are associating with your kids, I need to make sure your kids is not out here doing something that could wrap my kid up. It's like prime example, like I said, with that young boy right now that's sitting up. You about to waste 25 years of your life. And even though you didn't do nothing, the fact that you drove them in and then you picked them back up, you made yourself an accomplice. Again, when certain things don't seem right and don't fit right, that does not mean you act on it. And this is what I'm saying. Start having more self-awareness and self-reliance. Like I told somebody one day, there's some of y'all who think you're relying on a certain situation because you feel these situations are going to be best for you. You'll find out that that purpose is not served the way you think it is. Like prime example is some of you joining gangs or trying to be down with the gang only because, again, your friends are down with the gang. Your peoples, your close-knit peoples are down with the gang. But if you're not prepared for that life, if you're not prepared for what happens in these streets for real, you should not be in the streets. Period. Your children out here hustling, guess what? Your children gonna get wrapped up just like the regular dope boys. Now, in certain situations, again, we know these kids don't have an active or a constructive background they coming from. So what they learn or what they do is what they learn and what they've seen. You know. Appreciate you for dropping those links, serious baby. working harder than this damn rain on my window, baby. But again, because some of them are not coming from a structured background, they streets is their background, streets is their parents, the streets is their teacher. Shouldn't be that way. Again, you as a parent, you are the first line of defense. You are the first teacher. They coming from you. So what do you have to offer? Oh shit. Shouts to this French vanilla coffee. My bad, y'all. I'm about to be wired. But I think that's unfair for real. The fact that you're not thinking about the soul safety of your children. This message needs to get out there to some of y'all because again, this is just not the way it should be going on. It shouldn't take certain situations for you to want to be in the uproar and then now all of a sudden you want to protect your children. I ain't messing with you serious. Yeah, take that coffee. Take that coffee, baby. Now again, start thinking about what's more important. What's important right now is again your kids having some form of a future. You know, and also again keeping the family tree growing, but also elevating. Think that's unfair though. It's selfishness again when you're not paying attention to every angle of what's going on with your children. I don't care if you're working hard or if you're barely working. I've seen hardworking parents who wasn't able to keep their eyes on their kids to a degree, but they had family members or they had people within that street that was watching, looking, and making sure everything was everything. Yeah, serious because it's true. Like, come on now, y'all got to start paying more attention. Like again, what is so hell? What is so? What is the whole thrill of being out all hours of the night when you're young? Ain't no thrill because there ain't nothing going on for you outside of street activity or criminal activity. Now, again, could be the victims of attacks, and then what? Now you're gonna look for everybody to band up and stand up. But you should have been thinking about that before that situation even transpired or took place. I can't get in the uproar if I allow my son, my daughter, or any of my kids for that matter to be out all hours of the night and I don't check shit. If something happens, I would have to be taking that responsibility. I would have to take that responsibility because again, I could have avoided that. If I'd have been doing what I was supposed to be doing for my children, they wouldn't be in the situations that they in. That'd be a difference. You an adult, you decide to make a decision well after the fact, and you already know you wasn't raised that way, then that's on you. That's again something you have to take care of. No, and that's the sad part about it again, is that when it comes to certain situations, they're not being held accountable like an adult would be held accountable. Keyword, certain situations, not all. There are some situations where, regardless to the age of kids, if you did something, oh yeah, they're gonna be held accountable and they're gonna be learning that responsibility. And it's sad because again, it shouldn't take a highly potential dangerous situation for you to really start focusing on your kids. Like again, last night, prime example with that situation, that hand again. I kicked out 6 young women, none of them over the age of 14. You could tell these was babies, but even still, it's sad. What are you doing out that late? Where's your parents? Where's the parental supervision? Come on now. And if you wasn't supposed to be out and about, now you out and about doing things. That's why I said, parents, when your kids say something about, oh, I'm going to this one's house, or I want to spend the night at this one's house, you make sure that's where they at. They're gonna go out, have their slumber party like for the queen. You don't have your little slumber parties or whatever. All right. Well, make sure they actually staying indoors. Make sure they're not leaving out the house. Make sure there's no sneak offs. Make sure there's not nothing that shouldn't be happening. And that's real raps right there. You can avoid a lot of different situations if you start paying more attention and being more active. Again, your daughter could have been the victim of a heinous attack. And these type of attacks, a lot of times, guess what? These attacks do affect people mentally and psychologically. God forbid if your daughter would have been the victim of a sexual attack, that's something right there they're gonna have to deal with. They're gonna have to bear the burden on. That's something that they're gonna have to really get help for. And again, some people never recover from that type of situation when it happens. Some people relapse and go into a deeper state of depression. That's not something you should want your children having to, worry about. Depression coming from certain situations. Another thing I could say for some of y'all parents, if your children have already been a victim of a situation, but they ain't trying to let it be known, you need to sit down and talk with them. Because obviously you're going to read the body language. And if the body language is not sitting right, then that means 9 out of 10 something went wrong. So it is up to you to find out what's going on. There's some stories where parents were unaware things happened to their children until the children either came and sat down with them and talk, or until the parent put them to the side and talk. Especially again, when you seeing certain behaviors that you are not accustomed to seeing. Dee baby. I already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know, that's what I'm saying. See, some of this is coming from what they see and what they observe. See, again, like I said, with some of you parents, you gotta learn how to talk with each other and not talk at each other. Because again, that argument back and forth, the constant disrespect amongst each other, this is what they're picking up. And then, prime example, they seeing you disrespectful and being all out of pocket with people, especially elders. What you think they gonna do? And this is what I'm saying. All in all, it's time to start raising the bar again. It's needed. Because again, what would your children have learned or accomplished in life if you're not teaching them something? If you're not trying to make sure that they're learning something that's constructive? Again, when you know that your children have specific hobbies and stuff like that, find out what their interests are. Again, find out what their interests are. And then from there, try to help build towards the greater future. I feel like this again, unless your children are of a certain age, they already almost graduating high school, they got a little part-time job and something like that along those lines, then cool. There should be a little leniency, but then again, gotta be real with yourself. I'm sorry. It's crazy that in this day and age, instead of y'all saying, let's really make sure that our children are safe, that they being well educated, and that they not being peer pressured into certain things before time, he ain't thinking that no more. It's just, oh, well, let them find out on their own. Let them experience it. And granted, in certain cases, yeah, they're gonna have to experience life on their own. They're gonna have to experience certain things for themselves. But again, it's a principle. And you know why some of these parents are scared of their kids? To be honest with you, they're not even so much scared of the kids. You know what they scared of? They are scared of that system that I spoke about one time before. They are scared that the men they decide to discipline their children the way they see fit. That here come ACS going to be coming in to save the day. And I honestly felt that was the worst thing they could have done is give children a voice in that situation. Because if these children are not being really hurt, abused, or harmed in any way, they shouldn't be allowed to call or try to get child services involved for nothing. There's some of you parents who, guess what? You're going to have to put your foot down. It's no more just allowing things to happen. No, you have to set that base and that boundary. And if the kids can't respect the base and boundary and they staying in your household, then they need to go. How the parents used to say it, if you feel you could do better on your own, or if you feel like you that much of an adult, then you should be out on your own. Now, in some instances, some people will say, "Oh, but nobody's supposed to say that." Yeah, you're right. But when you got unruly children who feel like they know more than you, then guess what? It's time for you to put them to the test. Okay, you think you know more than me? Then let's see how this works out. Kids weaponize that system because look how many false reports done been put on parents that wasn't doing shit. And then come to find out the kids was just upset because they couldn't get their way on certain things. You don't do shit like that to your parents. Especially again, they brought you in the world, they got a roof over your head, clothes on your back. Just because it's certain things you might not get right away, that does not mean that's an abuse of power. That just means you can't get it at that time frame. And again, if I'm not abusing you or beating you or doing anything along those lines, then how the hell do you feel comfortable trying to put me in that position? You know, not right. Again, this is why rules and establishments need to be in place. There's some of y'all who really fear the system. Oh, if I do this, then I already know this is going to happen. So to avoid this, like, come on. And then some of y'all fail to realize when ACS gets involved, BCW, whatever you want to call it, because everybody had a different name for it. Either which way, it's still child services. Once they get involved, trust me, it's not no easy open and shut. If they still feel certain shit, they'll keep it open just to be on the safe side. But then again, sometimes you keeping the wrong cases open. You got kids right now who are losing their lives to either evil parents or step parents. You know these parents ain't good all around the board, but you will still give them custody. That's what I'm saying. You gotta think about that shit. Look at the kids right now who lost their lives because they was in terrible situations and it got overlooked. But then the people that you should overlook and the people that you shouldn't pay no attention to, look what the fuck going on. Like again, I don't see how you could feel comfortable as a kid calling any form of child services on your fucking parent, and your parent ain't doing nothing but trying to raise you right. That's why I said they use this system to weaponize, and this is how they going to do it. Well, if I feel my parent is being too unfair, I'm going to call them. Come on, man. That's not fair. Again, you have people who have lost their lives and even get a chance to make it past 6, 7, 8 years old because they've been abused or being abused in their families forever. And instead of them quote unquote workers double checking to make sure everything is everything, you'll check up once in the blue. My thing is, you can't just go off of face value. If I still feel there's something, if I was a worker and I feel that's something that's still missing, as a worker, I'm supposed to make sure I'm assessing the whole situation, the whole household, and all of that. But man, I'll spot something that looks kind of out of whack. Me as a worker, I'm supposed to report that. You know, don't make no sense. Again, it's like y'all allowing the children to make adult decisions well before their time. Yeah, some of y'all need to break that mold. Again, because your parents didn't have that with you. You couldn't sit here and do some of the shit like some of these kids are doing now to your parents and think you would have had all your teeth in your mouth. Sorry. Because it was a respect level. When certain things were said, that was word of land. That was word of law. Nah, it's unthinkable to think again. Put yourselves in that situation because you're not fighting and you're not standing as parents should stand. You know, again, that's one thing y'all should be having an effective conversation with your children about specific situations, letting them know when they do certain things like lie, it's not going to fucking get them nowhere. You lying, saying that your parents are abusing you. Meanwhile, your parents have given you the best life. How that look on you? Like I said, how that look on you? But parents start teaching them that there's some things they're not going to be able to play around with. They're not going to be able to lie about. Because when it's all said and done, guess what? You're going to be left holding the bag too. And that's what I'm saying. Got to be more wary. Teach them that this is not a game. If you playing around and you get any form of child services involved in your family situation, trust me, it's going to be a bad look on everything. It's going to make the parents feel a type of way, definitely, but it's definitely going to make you look crazy because, again, it couldn't have been that bad up until then. Give me 1 second. Don't sit down. Hold it down, Simba. Hold it down. Hold it down. No, and I think that's unfair again. That y'all allowing a system to be used as a weapon to basically divide the family again. Parents start parenting. Granted, not every parent is going to have to physically discipline their kids for their kids to learn that life lesson or to learn anything or to be outstanding people. I've seen a couple of people, they ain't necessarily get beat. They might have got yelled at, definitely got their asses chewed out, but nothing of a physical stature to where they felt the type of way. But again, parents was just being parents as they were supposed to be doing. Not taking no lick from nothing, not taking no nonsense. But again, like I said earlier, for some of y'all out there with your young queens, you gotta make sure your young queens is actually indoors before time. Again, they under the age of 18, they should be somewhere home or indoors safe, not out and about 2, 3 in the morning. Cause you ain't getting nothing outside of trouble and drama. And that's just real raps right there. Like I said, it'd be your luck. Your child decide to go hang out with friends, and instead of being somewhere they supposed to be at, they decide to go elsewhere and something bad happens. And we've seen situations like that occur. Children supposed to be over with whoever, and instead of them being there, they everywhere else but there. Again, the life expectancy for your children, life expectancy for your children, that solely depends. You know, it solely depends on you, just like it depends on them. Because yeah, we understand. You could be a good parent, you could be doing all the right things, but when your children get a certain age and decide this is how they gonna move, this is how they want to move, there's nothing you can really do but hope and pray that they get it right. But even when they in your place of residence, they are supposed to follow rules and regulations, and they're also supposed to be boundaries set. Again, some of y'all keep trying to be friends with your kids, and you seeing that it's not looking good for you. And again, yeah, there's some children who are talking down to their family crazy. But at some point, they get that humbling awakening. And that's the one thing to remember. You could be on a downfall to a degree, but the worst downfall is when you hit that reality block and realize, again, what you're doing ain't necessarily worth it. So, again, parents start getting in control of what you need to get in control of. Your main priority always should be keeping your kids safe no matter what. It doesn't make you less of a parent. It doesn't make you a weak parent. It makes you a strong, responsible parent that's willing to make sure their kids are doing everything needed, again, to survive. You don't teach them the simple things like how to manage bills, how to save money when needed, how to take care of responsibilities before you take care of anything else. They ain't gonna learn nothing in this world. They gonna be asked out. Sorry to say it that way, but it's facts. You're not sitting down and educating and making sure your children are growing the right way. This is what you're gonna get. You know, you're gonna consistently keep getting the same repeated patterns. Kids being out all hours of the night, kids being disrespectful even towards elders. Like yesterday, prime example, the situation that occurred in my area could have went left. And again, some of you parents better get your kids in the notion of having respect for people older than them, especially those who ain't do nothing wrong to them, or those that you look for help. You can't look for somebody to help you, but in the same token, you threatening them. How does that look? Yesterday, that could have went left on that corner. You are a young man, probably not even 18, and you're talking to somebody that's well over 30 years old, like you about that. Now, what if that man would have decided, I don't want to hear this shit no more, and would have decided to pull out a weapon and do something? Or what if that man would have just decided to get up and just start wailing on you? You caused the initiation. You have to teach your kids that they not always supposed to spark the wrong situations because those situations will backfire. And seeing that instance right there, he did the right thing. All right, well, since you so big and bad, let me call your moms and your pops and let them hear what you saying to me. That boy didn't know that boy didn't really know that man knew both of his parents plus the uncle. So either which way, you was disrespecting somebody that's close to the family. Make it make sense. But then it's the same person you just asked for help 20 seconds ago. Oh, I need you to do this. I need you to help with this. But then you're gonna threaten them. Oh, you're gonna do this. No, you can't sit there and try to force a threat on somebody. Ain't gonna work. And if anything, the only thing that's gonna get you is something that you don't want. Get yourself in danger or in trouble. Now, what if that man had his child out and about and that child didn't like the way he was talking? Now, again, you're causing conflict for what? Because of your mouth, because the way you speaking to people. Have some respect and some decency when you are speaking to some people, and you'll get it right back. In order to gain respect, you gotta earn it. And that right there could have been a terrible situation for that young man in question. Because again, you not knowing or you just thinking that because you had somebody with you that now what if something would have happened? That same person that was with you probably would have ran on you because he already looked kind of scared. Some of y'all need to be aware of who you hanging with and make sure these people are legit as they say. Don't say I got your back in any form of situation, and then when the situation get heavy, you run on them. This is another thing that we've seen. Another reason why some young folks are in the grave now. They quote unquote besties, leaving them for dead. And I feel like this, some of y'all should learn from previous situations. If you already had a situation where things got kind of heavy and these people that ran on you or left you for dead, these ain't the ones you still should be claiming as friends. No, you need to move away from them because you want to be around solid people. And not saying that you always going to get in the midst of trouble, but when there is trouble, even if it's not presented or it wasn't initiated by you, you shouldn't have to worry about people running off on it. Again, people need to start being more unified. Before I get up out of here, I just want to say this again. You know, start taking into consideration what's being said. It's not just being said by me, it's being said by a lot of different people. You know, again, in order for safety to be the main measurement, again, got to think about what's safe. You know, what's safe for me, what's safe for my family. You know, again, it's time to get back into that mode of unity and construction. Need to construct the paths, you know, because again, you know, you were blessed to bring children into the world. Now it's time for you to be responsible for them. Make sure that they're growing. Make sure that they're learning everything that's needed to be learned. You don't want it to be a situation where you close your eyes and your children are not in the best positions. Also, for some of y'all, I need to hear it. Stop being selfish when it comes to certain situations. When you are thinking selfishly, you are definitely hurting your family. Some of y'all right now putting yourselves in danger right now because you think it's for the betterment. I did this so I could survive. I did this so I could feed my family. How long you think you're gonna run with that line before they just say we tired of hearing that line? Because there's always going to be multiple options and scenarios for you to build and grow. You just got to be part of it. You know, and again, teach your children structure. You want your children to learn something, guess what? You're going to have to be the teacher. And we ain't talking about for no school system or anything. You're just going to have to be the teacher for them. You know? So again, let's get back to structure. You know, get back to, get back to being strong, independent individuals. Bring back the morals and the integrity that's needed. We need to bring back that fiber of structure again. And again, it should be no late nights with your kids out and about. Your kids should be in at a certain time because again, there's nothing going on outside. There's nothing of, there's nothing of great hope or anything outside. Not anything outside late in the evening except handcuffs and an early casket or just getting hurt. And if you don't want your young kings and queens to be the victims of circumstance, again, you parents better start locking in and loading in when it comes to your children. Something that should be said for the day. You know, again, start being more aware of what's going on and start doing more. Don't hurt to do so. When you do more, you earn more and learn more, guess what? It'd be a better situation for you and yours. Before I get up out of here, I do want to take the time to again wish happy birthday to all the Libras celebrating this weekend and celebrating this week. You know, we did not forget about you, baby. We got you. We got you. And yeah, before I get up out of here, one more again for the people. One. Again, hopefully y'all enjoy your weekend. Stay blessed. And if you're in the eye of the storm, again, make sure you're keeping you and your family safe. And if you don't need to be out there, keep your ass indoors and just try to enjoy the blessings as always. For those following me on Clapper, I will see y'all at 7. And yeah, we're going to out tonight. For those just tuning in, y'all can catch this replay. And again, this is just a reiteration on why, again, it's important for you young men and women out there, especially you young parents, to get in control of your households, get in control of the situation at hand. Because before it does turn left or becomes a tragic situation, you will want to try to avoid that. Now, again, start getting in that notion of loving and caring for your family more than anything. But let me get up out of here, definitely. Again, for those following me on Clapper, I'll see y'all at 7. If y'all was new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to the Shadow Mafia and the Shadow Babies. Y'all know what it is, baby. For everybody that was in attendance today, y'all already know that love is love and it'll be reciprocated as such. I don't know how to be fake. What I'm going to do is give you real. And that's all I'm going to do is give you real topics and real bills. And yeah, I'll definitely see y'all later on. Oh, wait a minute. I can't just leave out of here like that. I can't just leave up out of here like that. Because I know I'm going to get an email, but guess what? There we go. There we go. And again, you know, for those not following on Clapper, make sure you're doing so. Trust me, at some point, you're going to want to follow me over there. It's like I said, we definitely building over there as well. We almost at that 1,000, so you know. I got to give him a dance one more again. There you go. There you go. D, don't be over here laughing. Don't be over here laughing. Told you he was going to get you. Told you he was going to get you. As a matter of fact, here, come get your nephew. Yeah, come get your nephew, damn it. Sit over here, co-sign and laugh all day. You ain't gonna be co-signing nothing.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You a baddie, the type I appreciate. With no makeup, you looking good in the face. Natural body, I'm loving how it's shaped. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hoes coming in, so I gotta bring the guys with me. Said he get the dirty outside. Heard there was some free, so I had to bring the down with me. Oh, you with it? I'm gone. Come to the bathroom, give me that dome. Yo, man's get the tripping, birdie.
James, don't encourage the madness. Since you want to bring coffee into the club, and I'll be trying to save you, right? Man, I got you.
Oh yeah, no you love it, muscle lips. Let's go. Lap it up, you hungry son of a bitch. Whoop! Sorry.
Get a handle on your frisbee, college boy.
Oh, you do not want to go.
Yeah, I told you. First ever AI Natures Awards might be coming soon, so don't worry. You're gonna get your little, you know, gonna get your little gonna get you a little bit of whatever, you know. Dee Dee's still over here laughing. It's okay. It's okay. I need you to come get your other nephews too. Don't worry. They've been tripping today. They've been tripping today. First of all, come get your nephew. Where is he at? Come in, nephew Pablo. Here you go. Get your other nephew too. Then get them one more time. Get them one more time. There you go. There you go. But hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of your afternoons, evenings. And yeah, you future babies, I'm coming for my lottery numbers. Don't worry, coming for my damn lottery numbers. But again, for those following me on Clapper, I'll see y'all at 7. But y'all stay safe, keep that third eye open. And until the next live, we out of here. Peace and blessings.